Hey there, guys. This is Ice 9, and we've got a couple more Ultimate Legends to add to our teams if we can't afford them. It looks like EA has kept Ultimate Legends going longer than they had Mobile Masters going last year, trying to milk every cent that they can out of the game and milk money out of your pocketbook to try to get some more great players to add to the team so you can play them for 2 weeks. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but you know what? We're going to cover the players. They're both pretty interesting, and if you've got some coins to get them, might be some good additions. And first one here, Strahan, we're going to take a look at the set based, and also we're going to look at the boss versions as well. But if we look at this, I don't know what the finesse moves are, but I believe they're higher than the power moves. So this is an interesting defensive end. Unlike White and J.J. Watt and a lot of the Ultimate Legends that are out there, finesse defensive ends sometimes can get around blocks more quickly than a power moves type of guy. So if you're running a 4-3, and most of the defenses in Madden Mobile are, it might make sense to run one finesse guy at one of the defensive end positions. As far as myself, the boss might look pretty interesting to me, but this version of it, even though he's got good hit power and some good tackle stats, and the acceleration is excellent at 103, probably not worth it to replace Clowney with the set-based version at least. But that's that. And let's go on to the other one. And we've got yet another 99 Cam Newton. So looking at these stats, very, very similar in a lot of ways to the GT version. The throw power is a little bit higher. The throw accuracies, though, are a little bit lower. I believe the medium is one lower and the deep is one lower than the GT version of the card, but the strength is a little bit higher and the throw power is a little bit higher. Acceleration also might be a little bit higher. So one of the things I have noticed and have made the move now over to boss Elway here, and you can see Elway's stats and with the boosts on my team and what the stats look like. Not as fast and doesn't accelerate nearly as much as Cam. One thing that I will say, I thought these stats might be good enough to run with, but what I've seen on countered QB sneaks where you just have like a third or fourth and inches type of situation, this is not necessarily your guy. And one of the things I will say, the carry stat is 87, I believe, on this card, which is the same as the GT version. I have no idea what the new carry stats are on the Ultimate Legend Cam Newton card is now, but this guy fumbles. I have noticed. I had a fumble 6 against me in a league-to-league game a few days ago, and definitely not as easy to run with this guy considering the speed being slower, acceleration being slower, and not being as strong, so not nearly as good. I'm much more effective using Elway when I'm using his arm. You got to beat people with the arm with this guy. Not necessarily as good a running quarterback is what you would see right here. But anyways, let's go on. And here's Strahan. And we're seeing the boss versions out there. Well, yeah, why not? Starting bid at 10 million by this time of the year. Why the heck not do it? But the stats, 104 accelerations, incredible. I mean, it's a great stat. I assume the finesse moves are really high. So that's a great card. I'd probably replace Clowney with that card if I could. But doesn't look like I'm going to be able to afford it. Set-based version, they do have Ultimate Legend packs, no bundles, but they've got packs out for the day, so it's a little bit easier to put the set-based version together, and you can see some of the green and red over Clowney. Not as fast, but acceleration is better, which is arguably more important for a defensive end. Hit power is a very respectable 101. Again, finesse moves, I'm not sure what it is, but I assume it to be higher than the power moves, which means he'll be using the finesse moves more, which means he might get off a block faster. We will have to see, but good looking card for sure. And we haven't done this in a while, so why don't we go into defensive ends and just kind of see our choices. So there's the legend Bruce Smith, really good power moves. The Boss Smith is certainly a great card. Again, I think it might be good to have somebody with higher finesse moves. Here's Mover Malik Jackson. We haven't really talked about this too much. Kind of a weak 99 card, if you will. Hit power is not great. Awareness takes some boosting for sure to get it up there to 99. Strength isn't extremely high. Speed's not extremely high. Tackle's not 99. So not exactly a great card. Seth Jones. This guy is definitely disruptive. Power moves better than the finesse moves. Nothing great, but plays better than the stats on the card. Finesse defensive end right here, but pretty much outclassed by the new Strahan card. Not too strong. Hit power's not great. Tackle's a little bit low for 99. And there's Clowney. This is actually a pretty good card. Both versions, this and the GT, are pretty good cards. Pretty fast. High power moves. Decent hit power. Tackle boosts up there. Not bad. Here is Boss Curse, and going for a surprisingly few amount of coins, 1.7 just about, and pretty good card. The new Strahan card still a little bit better. Khalil Mack, this is a really good card. Obviously, I play against this card a lot. A lot of people have positional hero Mack, and this guy definitely is disruptive. This is a very good card. The awareness is low. That means that the card boosts up pretty good, but it definitely plays better than some of its stats. Final edition Wilkerson, just dead slow, not much hit power, good tackle, solid run stopping defensive end, but stats don't look too disruptive. Here's Boss Watt going for 2.6. Very good power move defensive end with decent speed, excellent strength, tackle, and power moves. Pursuit and hit power are also excellent. The Reggie White card was kind of a weak card for sure. Power moves are good, but not too fast or good acceleration. So not the best card out there. Here's GT Clowney. That's your fastest defensive end in the game in terms of the speed. Acceleration's a little bit lower than a few of the GTs, and so on and so forth. Some people getting rid of Boss Watts in favor of other cards. Same thing with these Boss Jones cards. People cashing out of their teams too, and selling them for MHC or whatnot. Here's this Bosa card. Absolutely no green over Clowney. Even though it's got a boost, it's kind of a weak one. And that's pretty much it. So that's it. Now, onward, let us go check out this new Cam card, including the Boss. So, here's some GTs out here, and Monopolies at work is basically what we have. There are only 2 GT cams in the market. This card was going a few days ago for only about 2.5 million coins was the going buy it now price. You could see somebody snapped up everything in the market. Now it's 5.2 and 6 million, and only thing I could say is I hope their monopoly fails miserably. I don't know how many people have that many coins this time of year. One thing I will say about this card, having played Elway for a little bit now, and having played Cam for a pretty good period of time before, is I would say the versions, and I assume the two Ultimate Legend versions are probably about as good as running quarterbacks as the GT version. It's probably the safest, best running quarterback in the game with the high strength, speed, acceleration, pretty good size. He will reliably get plays, at least something on a countered QB sneak if you're just in a third or fourth and inches type of situation. Definitely a better card than an Elway or probably Boss Young to do that with, because Young isn't as strong. And here, if we look at this Boss card now, I mean, look at this: 93 strength, 98 speed, 99 acceleration. Throw stats are not as good as Elway, except for the throw power. But this is all pretty respectable, a little bit better than the GT version in all the throw accuracies. I have noticed, if you're wondering what the difference between, say, a 95 throw accuracy shorter, 96, I believe it is, on the GT card. In comparison to Elway definitely throws the ball better and more accurately than this card. So if you like to throw it, Elway or Boss Young are probably better choices than this guy. But if you like to run it with the quarterback a little bit, I don't think you could do better than one of these cards. Certainly the Boss version, the GT version's also very good. And the set-based version, again, 5 more strength, pretty good running stats, boosts up easily to 99 in speed and acceleration. It's just the throw stats are a little bit lower, and that is definitely noticeable. And while we're at it, although we do this a lot of 99 quarterbacks out there, the old Tebow card, Wentz card, not a bad card right here. The set-based version of Young, stats are pretty good, still fast and good acceleration, just not as strong or tall as the Cam cards. The golf card, and this is a good card for overall, with the +4 catch and +4 awareness. I still could use the awareness boost on my team. You can see there's absolutely no green from Elway, but the throw stats are decent. They're certainly pretty good, just not too strong, not too fast, and not the greatest acceleration. Here's Boss Elway. And GT Manziel 1, which was the better version of the card. Pretty strong, not quite as strong as GT or Ultimate Legend Cam, but pretty strong. Good speed and acceleration, not a bad quarterback to run with. Throw stats are also pretty good. So that's a pretty good card. 3+ months later, still a pretty good card. And positional heroes Brady. Over time, I played the card for a little bit, and then I figured I liked running a little bit more with the quarterback than what that guy can do. Here's GT Brady with that ridiculous 93 acceleration, 88 speed. That's a really good card, obviously. The Tebow card's pretty interesting. Highest strength, I believe, in the game, maybe besides Boss Cam. But other than that, pretty good running. The throw stats aren't bad, but I assume I would rather take Cam because of the height over this card, I would say. But still, this golden ticket was not a bad card at all. And set-based version of Elway. Stats are pretty good, just not a great running quarterback. And here's a Boss Young. So this right here, as an all-arounder, not quite as strong or tall as Cam, but the throw stats are obviously extremely high. A great card for overall, but that one's just really expensive. And lots of expensive card. People still trying to make coins. for the end of the year, taking a risk, buying up some of these expensive cards for people who want to finish with a good legacy team. So all the higher cards are getting more rare as less and less people pull them or sell them, and it just gets a little bit easier to monopolize a given card, or try to, even though it's a risky thing, by the end of the year. But you could see kind of some of the prices are pretty high on a lot of these players. 10 million for Goff, please. 5 million for Boss Vic, which is pretty high. Carr, 5 million. Least desirable 99 quarterback right there. That's pretty cheap. But other than that, you could kind of see, if you look up and down the line, these cards, a lot of them are very, very expensive. And I don't know how these guys monopolizing them are doing. It doesn't seem to be very easy to make coins by this time of year, but that is what is going on. And for me, it looks like I'm going to play next year. I don't know if I'm going to play as seriously, do as many videos, etc. I'm going to stay in my league. I don't think I'm going to be team building as hard as I did last year. Or at the very least, if I do build a team, I might just try to make coins at the beginning of the year and kind of save up, not get the latest and greatest upgrade while it's the most expensive. Maybe I'll just try to build up coins and deal with what I have. That's going to be kind of hard to do, I think. I always get the itch to upgrade, but it just seems to me, with the nerfing that goes on and the amount of work it takes to really build a team, which I'm definitely not going to have for the next year. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun, not a chore, not a grind. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to achieve the same thing next year. Of course, we'll see how EA changes things. If they've got Tier 7 type players, I certainly hope they do that. That was a great thing that they did. I'll be in a league, so we'll be going for those guys hard if they have Tier 7s at the beginning of the year. I don't know if they will. They kind of put out Tier 7 kind of in the middle of the football season, towards the end of the football season, to try to inject some life in the game and bring people into leagues more and more. I do hope they start out, though, with Tier 7s, just to get people these goals to try to achieve really early on. I think would be a good thing. But we'll definitely see what they have in terms of mobile masters and domination and Tier 7 and what other players that they might have. EA's made a lot of changes this year that are good. Like I said in my last video, I don't know if GTs and boss players were exactly my favorite thing that they did, even though they've got some really cool players. It just seems like that there's an elite class of player that can only afford, very few people can afford those types of players. And by nerfing the positional heroes from last year, they just made it a little bit more difficult. One thing to talk about, they did bring out my 99 guard as part of the movers. But from what I've seen, that event is difficult enough to do. There's none out here on the auction house. There's a Boss Hutchinson. And then some set Larry Allens, some of which aren't going for too bad. Pretty good card right there. But there's none of these cards even out here. I forgot who they even did. I think it was Evan Mathis they did. A 99 version for the mover set, but they were going 5 million plus. People were jumping all over them at the auction house, and so pretty difficult to afford at this point. So it doesn't look like I'm going to get my 106 offense for the end of the year. I just don't see how that's going to happen. But change strategy for next year. Play events, not buy the latest and greatest. Don't open any packs. Just play live events and try to save up, and save up. Maybe try to do some buying and selling of MHC at Mudhead to try to get the coins up there. Uh, Seems to me if you can make coins earlier in the year and sell them and get MHC and then maybe buy players, you could still finish up or have a good team by the middle of the year to enjoy, depending on how you do it. So I'm going to have to look at more creative ways to do it. I'm not going to have as much time to play this game, and I'm not going to be spending money like I did this year. It's just not going to happen. It's not been worthwhile. Just pulling nothing through packs and having to work, my rear end off at live events to try to get anything doesn't seem to be the most worthwhile. I'm just going to have to be a little bit more patient about it, I think. And that's probably good advice to give to anybody about this game, because it does get super frustrating in between people monopolizing some of the better items and players. The nerf that you realize that you have when you have a good team and it doesn't always play up to what you think it should play up to. It does get very frustrating. So the best way to try to fight that frustration, I think, is maybe be a little bit more casual, a little bit less nuts about building a team, and just try to have fun with it. So that's my plan, and that is my video for the day. Thanks for watching. Not sure if that'll be the last of our Ultimate Legends or not. I thought last week was kind of going to be it, but does not appear to be the case. So we'll see what happens. If we don't get anything else, I doubt I'll do any more videos. But beginning next year, covering the new season, events, players, etc., expect some videos from me. Thanks for watching, guys.